Hi, welcome to her whispered tale, where every story starts quietly, but doesn't end the same way it began. Now listen closely because this one, you don't forget easily. $10 says he doesn't make it. That was the first thing I heard right before my mom left me at a train station. I was 12. First I laughed, because that's what you do when something feels wrong, but you don't want it to be real. The air smelled like metal rails and hot dust, like the whole place had been baking under the sun all day and never cooled down. People rushed past me without looking, dragging bags that scraped the ground, voices blending into one constant noise I couldn't separate. She was smiling, calm, like this was normal. Go on, she said, handing me a small bag. Let's see if you can find your way home. My uncle laughed. My cousin too. Not nervous, not confused, just sure, like they already knew how this would end. So I played along. I took a few steps forward, then turned back. Waiting for her to call me, to laugh, to say it was enough. She didn't. She just kept walking. Same speed, same face, no hesitation, and she didn't look back. That's when something in my chest dropped. Not loudly, just a quiet sinking realization I didn't have words for yet. I stood there telling myself she would come back. She always did. But then the crowd moved. People passed between us. Voices got louder. And suddenly, she was gone. Completely gone. The train station didn't feel like a place anymore. It felt like it was swallowing people whole and not giving them back. That's when it hit me. This wasn't a joke. I checked my pockets. Nothing. No phone. No money. No help. Just the small bag she gave me. My hands were shaking when I opened it. Inside, a bottle of water. And a folded note. I stared at it for a second, because somehow I already knew. This was everything I was going to get. I opened it. You're smart. You'll figure it out. That was it. No address. No directions. No explanation. Just that. And in that moment, something inside me changed. This wasn't a test. This wasn't parenting. This was a bet. And I was the one being bet on. For a few seconds I couldn't move. All I could hear was the station. Trains screaming in the distance. Announcements echoing like broken voices through metal halls. And beneath all of it, that sentence again. He won't make it. And something inside me snapped. Not fear. Something sharper. Something stubborn. I wasn't going to lose. So I started walking. No plan. No map. Just movement. First I tried to act normal. Like I belonged there. Like I wasn't a kid who had just been abandoned in a place full of strangers. But the station didn't feel neutral anymore. Every face felt like it had a purpose I didn't understand. Every glance felt too long. Every step I took echoed louder than it should have. I watched people carefully. Where they turned. Where they stopped. Where they went. And I followed the flow. For a while it almost felt like it was working. Almost. Until the station started thinning out behind me. The noise shifted. Less metal. More open air. The crowd started splitting into smaller groups. But I kept going. Because stopping felt worse than being wrong. That's when I made my first mistake. I saw a man ahead of me. He walked like he knew exactly where he was going. No hesitation. No looking around. And I told myself, if I just follow him I'll find my way. So I did. 10 steps behind him. Then 20. At first everything felt normal. Then something changed. The noise faded. The crowd thinned. The buildings around us got quieter. Too quiet. But I kept going anyway. Because admitting I was wrong felt more dangerous than being wrong. Then he stopped. Right in front of a narrow alley. No warning. No reason. Just stopped. And slowly he turned around. He saw me immediately. Like he already knew I was there the whole time. And he smiled. But it wasn't normal. It wasn't friendly. It was patient. Too patient. Why are you following me? He asked. I froze. Completely. My mind went blank for a second too long. I'm not, I said. Too fast. Too weak. He took a step forward. Then another. And suddenly the space between us didn't feel like distance anymore. It felt like a decision I was about to regret. That's when something inside me broke. Not fear. Instinct. I ran. Not thinking. Not looking back. Just running. My shoes hit the pavement harder than I expected. Breath burning in my chest. Turning corners without knowing where they led. Past people who didn't even notice me. Until I couldn't hear him anymore. But I didn't stop. Not until my legs gave out near a crowded area again. Hands on my knees. Breathing like I had been underwater too long. And when I finally stopped, I realized something terrifying. I wasn't just lost. I wasn't just alone. Now I knew something was wrong with this place. Something I didn't understand yet. And that made it worse. That's when it really hit me. What if I don't make it home? And once that thought came, it didn't leave. Hey, you okay? A stranger's voice. I looked up. For a second, I almost told him everything. That I was lost. That I didn't know where I was. That my own family had left me there like it was nothing. I almost said it. But then I remembered. My mom's face. That smile. That note. That bet. And I heard it again. He won't make it. So I shook my head. I'm fine. And walked away. 'Cause now, this wasn't about getting help anymore. This was about proving something. I changed how I moved. No more guessing. Now I was watching everything. Street signs. Traffic direction. How people crossed roads without thinking. Which direction the sun was leaning toward. Which side of the street felt familiar. I started building a mental map from fragments. Small clues. Nothing certain. And slowly, very slowly, things started connecting. But the city didn't make it easy. I took a wrong turn down a street that looked familiar, but ended in silence. No movement. Just closed shops and flickering lights. A stray dog followed me for a while, then stopped like it realized I wasn't going anywhere useful. I tried asking someone for direction once. They didn't even stop walking. Just shook their head and kept moving. Every minute made the city feel bigger. Not physically, but in the way it made me feel smaller. And tired. And less sure. Then I saw it. A street. Not fully familiar. But close enough to make my heart jump. Hope hit instantly. But right behind it, doubt. Because the sky was darker now. The air colder. Shadows stretching longer than before. And suddenly a thought stopped me mid-step. What if I'm wrong again? What if I walk further away instead of closer? But I kept going anyway. Because stopping meant accepting the other possibility. That I might actually be lost. Completely. Hours felt like minutes. Minutes felt like nothing. My stomach hurt. My legs were heavy. But I didn't stop. Not until I saw something again. A store. Not just any store. Our store. The one near our house. For a second I didn't believe it. I just stood there staring. Waiting for it to disappear. But it didn't. It was real. And everything hit me at once. Relief. Exhaustion. Anger. Confusion. I ran. Not thinking. Not stopping. Just running until I reached my street. But right before the door, I slowed down. 'Cause suddenly, I didn't know what I was about to walk into. Were they worried? Looking for me? Regretting it? Or still laughing? My hand hovered over the door. For a second too long. Then I opened it. And what I saw, I'll never forget. They were sitting there. Exactly the same. Laughing. Talking. Like nothing had happened. Like I hadn't just spent hours trying to survive something they turned into a game. The TV was on. Someone was eating. Someone was checking their phone. Normal life. Untouched. Then my mom looked at me. Smiled. Like I had just come back from a short walk. And said, "Told you he'd figure it out." Someone else laughed. "Guess I owe you $10. And in that moment, something inside me changed. Not loudly. Not dramatically. Just permanently. I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I didn't ask why. Because I already understood. I made it home. But home didn't feel like home anymore. Because that day, I didn't just learn how to find my way back. I learned something worse. If I didn't make it, they would have just laughed. And somehow, that stayed with me longer than the fear ever did.